Hello guys, it's your fellow investor here with another video. In this video I will be talking about quite old interview of NNDM and their CEO Yoav, but I found this one as one of the best out there. So I will put the link in the description so you can have a look at it yourself, but again, it is a few months old already, so I thought why not use this one because there are a lot of good information, but just make it up more up to date. He nicely explains some stuff which I think are not being projected into the share price whatsoever, and or people do not realize it. So I will let the interview play from the part where the interviewer asked him about their customers, and I will pause it and jump in whenever he finishes his thoughts to update it with current events or what he just didn't mention in the video. I hope you will enjoy this one.
Who are some of your customers for the technology?
Well, the vertical market segments that immediately responded to this early bird technology was of course, the academics industry and the defense. The defense is 50% of our customers nowadays. About 30%, 25% is academics, and 25% is rest of electronic industry. The defense, including all the names you know of the large defense manufacturers, which I can't formally mentioned, but you name a name and it's there. And other people like pseudo defense, like 2 or 3 secret services, government-owned secret services in Europe, the American Army, the American Navy, etc.
Well, as now we could have seen and hear, it's always good that when defense department or the secret services are interested in the company, because therefore it goes hand in hand with success. So let's have a look at Palantir. They were being not publicly traded for so long, and they weren't profitable, and I don't think they are anytime soon, but they are still running, they are alive, and they are very usable for the government because, you know, it's dependent on it, and they will use their services as long as it's possible because they have something which the government needs, and this is going to be the similar thing because the government needs to save money whenever it's possible. And definitely Yoav and his team, his company Nanodimension, can offer this solution. They have really unique technology, which he explained in every interview, and even I did in many of my other videos, so definitely check them out. And I don't know what more to say, you know, there's many times companies can't mention the names of their customers because it's being agreed in the contract whenever they sign it, so it is absolutely understandable, and of course he wouldn't like to hurt their name or pay any fees. He really answered it with the glance, and he gave us a good overall picture of what we can think of.
How are they actually using the technology? How are they deploying it?
We have 2 kind of call it business models. One is we sell the machine, and one is we sell services. When they buy a machine, the machine is on wheels, they put it in their lab, it's totally self-contained, it is like a huge printer if you look at the printer from HP, but this is an industrial printer. It has cartridges of inks. One ink is silver, one ink is dielectric. They design their prototyping for the very sophisticated devices, insert the design into the machine's computer, and it prints out a printed circuit board in 3 dimensions, including very, very small with accuracies of 2, 3, 4 microns and such.
Always good when the company has more possible revenue streams than just one, because they are not only selling the hardware but also let's say software as a service, and it's been really useful right now, as he mentioned, during the worldwide thing. And because, you know, even though they cannot sell their machines that much because the companies had low budget or they just were allowed to spend any extra money on anything, basically, they could still call them and, you know, make some arrangements and do it remotely. So this is very nice to see that they've made it work so nicely during these tough times, and it really just assures you as an investor that this company has a strong name and strong management position.
Yoav, how big is the market opportunity? Who are your competitors, if any?
Okay, so as you realize, Dave, when we come with a new technology like that, which means there's nobody else actually that can print 2 materials that are so different from each other in one run and create a product with these two materials working together. So it's an education process. So I looked at market researchers and spoke with the researchers, and the best estimates I could get is they believe it's going to be $800 million within 3 years and close to $1 billion within 4 or 5 years. What we did by ourselves, by bottom-up research, is we started to count the machines we can sell into education, for instance, by looking at all the education institutions around the world that have a special electronic department in research. And we also searched research papers on the subject that we are doing. And we found about potential for 400 to 500 machines. And once you go into the defense industry and into production, this number goes 10 times. And just to give you an example, we sold 27 machines last year. So obviously we're in an early stage. And because many organizations actually had a frozen budget for capital expense, and our machines are expensive, $350,000, $400,000 a piece, we opened and we started a service department, which is called Nano Services. And we use our machines. We have 2 fabs, 3 actually, one in Hong Kong, one in Florida, and one in Israel. And we use that, and people are now calling us, sending us their design. We produce it for them as a prototype and send it back to them, and it started to grow as a business by itself.
Again, really nicely explained by Yoav Stern, that even though last year, when it was 2019, he meant, I believe, they weren't really known, they were really under a radar, and they still sold almost 30 machines. And he said in another interview that they're looking to increase 100% of their revenue, even though there was this worldwide pandemic going on. So they're going again, I would say, around 60 machines being sold in their revenue, and next year probably going the same thing, if not even more, because there's going to be vaccines, and the thing is going to slowly get better during the world, and within 1 to 3 years the things should be back in normal, and they would be really in better position, better than ever. Talking about good positions, let's listen about raising capital.
So you have first mover advantage that you're leveraging very aggressively. You recently announced a $17 million offering. What's the overall cash position today, and how do you plan to deploy that capital?
Okay, we raised, you're absolutely right, last week 16.9. Together we have about $65 million of cash and no debt. We raised the total $65 million over the last 3-4 months. And the way we got our shareholders excited, and some of them, we did it in 4 rounds, and some shareholders that invested in the first, invested in the second and the third as well, is investors understand that in a situation like this, it's the best of all worlds. From one side, we have a business with 30, 40 customers that are early adopters. It's a business that the technology will reach inflection point within the next few quarters. It will expand like a biotech investment that reaches, stage 3, stage 4, and the right molecules are there. But the other side is, if we are slower or if we are late, we still have a business that is growing and we can eventually sell it. There's no downside like there is in biotech, where the investment has huge upside, but if the molecule doesn't work, you lost your investment. So investors understood that we have about 1.5 to 2 years runway before a competition will get closer. And the use of proceeds, to the last part of your question, is going to be, while the corona is still around, mostly invested in accelerating our product roadmap. So with the machine, the new versions that are coming up in 2 quarters are going to be ahead of what we expected. We have the financing. And the minute we see the corona starting to subside and budgets are being relaxed, we'll push a lot of this budget into marketing and sales.
So this is even better to hear that they're going to unveil a new product in actually next quarter from now on. And this is going to be so big for the company. It's going to boost the price. When we will be released, I can see 30% in one day, because from no news, the stock is moving up 14, 15%, 10%, like it's nothing if the market is okay. And I believe they only go down when there's like a huge market correction, or they are, announcing some public offering. So this is quite respectable and acceptable, because they're just doing so well, and they will use the money what they raise for accelerating product roadmap. But as we know right now from my previous video as well, they actually have over almost $1 billion available, and this is some big sum of money. A third of their capital, their market capital, of their market cap is in cash. You know, they have $3 billion market cap, and they have $1 billion in cash. Almost, let's say, this is so good financial position. It's crazy. They got from really bad to really, really good, and there could be, even if like the worst case, almost we can say, is that somebody will buy this company, and you know, it's still a win-win for Nanodimension. Even as the CEO said himself, it's not the worst case. I mean, that's the worst case, that they will get both. They will get bought from some bigger company. But I mean, this is great stuff overall. It's like one of the dream companies you can have in your portfolio.
Excellent. Are there any analysts covering you today?
We had one analyst from Think Equity that wrote a short one after one of the financing. I have analysts from NNDM and other places talking to me, but they didn't manufacture the report yet.
Well, I was informed by a family office that we work with that one of the biggest fund managers in the small cap space has been accumulating your stock. She loves it. She's built a very large position, very much believes in your company and your technology, and so do I. In fact, I own 75,000 shares myself. Yoav, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you. And since we're close in Florida, next you come and see how it works on location. It's a nice trip to Florida.
I really like how here the interviews mentioned, but not really, Kathy Wood, who has been accumulating the stock in there to our ARX ETFs, which is always good to see that she is really above the mainstream division, that she's not buying Neo or expanding left and right, but she's focusing on the underrated companies with way more potential, such as Nanodimension. And it even was good to see that even the interviewer himself had, I believe, 75,000 shares. So, you know, if this is like 3 months old, if he hasn't sold it, he's in really good profits. Overall, I hope you enjoyed this little bit of an update interview. I found this one of the best. I know there are others, but if you'd like to see more of these, just let me know down in the comment section. I thought I would have a day off today, maybe just like one video, but I decided that when I did already one video about Nanodimension, I could, you know, make more of it and make 2 videos, and this one didn't cost me that much time, maybe just 2 hours or so. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out, and by clicking on the thumbs up, you really support me and motivate me to make more videos. Last but not least, let me know down in the comment section what are your thoughts and opinions, what are your buying positions and all that good stuff. With that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video.